An industrial park in Athens. People here, like shipping agent Georgios Karipidis, no longer doubt their country is insolvent. He thinks a new start is needed, but he could lose his savings. The banks have invested too much money in the debt-ridden country.
If the banks fail, everything here will collapse. Everything would come to a standstill. But we have to remain optimistic.
Every day, ordinary Greeks follow the debates in Europe's capitals. Greece now needs more than 250 billion euros to meet its obligations. And foreign investors could be facing a 50% haircut.
That won't help either. Even if debt is slashed by half or even more, the burden of debt will still be too high. The state will never be able to pay back the interest. We simply don't have the means to pay off our mountain of debt.
In Frankfurt, Germany's financial capital, economists are also keeping a close eye on Europe's politicians. Here at the Goethe University, students say decision makers don't seem to understand the most basic principles. These are principles they learned in their first semester.
As an economist or academic, you can clearly see that much too often long-term solutions are overlooked in favor of short-term remedies. Much too often, politicians are concerned with rescuing the market at least till next year or the year after, instead of discussing a long-term perspective for Europe.
The students try to grasp the complexities. Each summit yields new material to work on. The basic problem is clear. Banks took excessive risks, and countries walked carelessly into debt, just like the crisis in Asia 10 years ago.
They relied on always receiving lots of money from abroad to finance their economic growth. Asian countries had to learn the hard way. They reduced their budget deficits and now rely much more on their own finances. And 10 years after the crisis, they're in better condition than before it.
In Washington, few economists expect major results from EU summit meetings. Think tanks say Europe's leaders reacted too late to the problems. Desmond Lachman of the American Enterprise Institute says the euro will suffer the consequences.
There's no way, in my view, that we're going to be able to save the euro in its current form. The weaker members like Greece and Portugal, I think it's only a matter of 6 months, a year, before we see those countries exiting the euro.
Few European leaders are willing to concede that. Instead, they're searching for a political compromise to keep the Eurozone intact.